this is tough, man, and nobody wants to go through this because it feels like you really, people. I can see why people want to not go on because the pain is unbearable, and I promise you. But that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm here standing in front, and the Lord is using me to say like, hey, man, you can do this, you can get past this, you can push. Got to focus on Him, and I always come back to that. I didn't do it, and people ask me, how did I do it? I really don't know. Well, I do know, but I had to go to a spiritual place, and I keep telling people that. I had to tap into a source that was always in me, but I had to dig really, really deep into it, and just function in that and stay in that place because anything else, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I don't know about all the medical trials, and I'm not pro trial meds and none of that. I'm not saying I'm not against it. I mean that, but in my case, I didn't have to go through that.
You weren't even presented with those options.
No,
transplants and things like that. We didn't know about those options.
I never knew anything about a liver transplant. I don't know about liver stents. I didn't know about hipstertricity. I don't know about Y90. I don't know about any of that. So I know I was just one of the blessed and fortunate ones that God had His hand on. Because we'll go back and do a case, and I'll really sit down in depth, and it'll be about a 2-part, 3-part series about how everything happened, how the journey really happened. How God's hand was really on me from the doctors I had, from the advice I received, from the treatments when everything was stacked for me. Everything was first. And I never missed an appointment. God, thank God, I never missed a treatment. It's a fire from the belly, from the soul, so to speak. So that's why I got to go to heaven because I already went through hell. Believe that. So yeah. But not to make light of anything, man. It was just tough, really, really tough experience, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Cancer is nothing to play with.
And caregivers ask questions because sometimes, even though they're your loved ones, they're not thinking about what questions to ask because they're just thinking about breathing.
Basically, yes.
So remember, ask questions.
And that's even difficult. That's even difficult because you have to monitor your breaths. Because you don't know if it's going to be your last breath or your second to your last breath or your third to your last breath. You don't know any of that. You don't know if you're going to go to sleep, you're going to wake up again. You don't know any of that. So,
So because they're just focused on life, you have to be the mouthpiece for them. So remember that at the end of the day, your goal is to ask the questions that they may talk to you about. You write down everything and you really monitor everything. If they ate, you monitor that. If they didn't eat, you monitor that. If they went to the bathroom, you monitor it.
And it all hurts. So just one thing about it, bear with them. Bear with them. What they're going through is something that, they didn't want. They wouldn't wish that on you. So just, it's tough to explain. It's kind of hard to explain because, it's easy to see the end result. And I know I'm blessed. And, I know for sure I'm blessed because God has restored me to the point to where I can do everything that I've done before. And then, with missing pieces, what I'm saying? Partial pieces and stuff like that. So it's not, it's still with conditions that was supposed to take me out. But I know, you got to have compassion for people. You got to really have an understanding, and understanding spirit. They don't, if they can get up from that bed and walk and do things, the simplest thing like use the restroom for themselves. I had a urinal, I had a catheter, I had all that stuff, I had, drain tubes, all that stuff. So I know, how I felt. And they're appreciative, even though they may not seem like it. They're just irritated and they don't know. They got to just express themselves. So just bear with them and just, have a heart and have some compassion.
Now, if you don't mind taking us back, we talk about stages of cancer. And of course, we know that there are 4 stages. But we don't always talk about the treatment.
First of all, are we taking questions and answers?
Yeah, and I'm reading one now.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, I've memorized this. So,
okay.
Your treatment.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like? Like, can you walk us through the types of treatment that you had? What did that look like? I mean, we know you've talked about the time frame, but what about the medications?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
Well, in my case, like we was talking about in Dr. Class office Friday, the only thing, they didn't want to get oversimplistic, but they knew that they had to turn it up a little bit, so to speak. And they gave me, what was it, Gemstar or Brexter? It's cisplatin. One drip was, I think, 5 hours. Another drip was 2 hours. And the brown bag, the one that was covered, I think, no, that was the one that was 5 hours. But I was on 3 of those, and at that time, they don't even do that any longer, and that was 2021. And now it's Durver, Gemstar, and cisplatin. But I had a Brextain, so it was different for me. And when they turned it up on you, that cisplatin is the devil.
But in addition to that, you also had some other things that contributed, that helped you, like when they gave you steroid treatments and things of that nature.
Yeah. So what I had was 12 round 6 cycles. It was 12 round 6 cycles of the 3 medications, but the medications were turned up so much on me because I was so far along. I was already stage 4, like we already know, and I was given. But I thought when I looked it up, it was 4 to 6 months. But when my doctor told me, she said that my oncologist, she said I only had like a month to live because I had cirrhosis of the liver as well, and a lot of other ailments. But because they didn't even think they were going to be able to do a liver resection on me, so and I had 11 centimeter mass plus the 3 additional tumors, plus lymph nodes and all that stuff. So we swung for the fence, and when they turned, I say that to say this, when they turned the medicine up on me, they didn't even know if I was going to get through the chemo treatments, and it was so painful and so intense. It was the worst thing that you could ever even go through. I didn't even want to see anybody. I didn't even want anybody to see me in that manner. I was totally stripped everything. God just stripped me down, but I know, I had to depend on Him no matter what, and that's what got me through a lot of that. And also, when I used to pray a lot, and I still do pray a lot, but when I was asking for comfort, it's just ideas that started to come to me. And, it's just like training for a fight. You get a basic game plan, and then you execute the game plan. And when I say that, what I mean by that is that how can I attack this? What's the days that I feel the worst on, right? So I would notice that when they would give me the steroid, I can get through like the day of chemo, the day after chemo, but midday after chemo, that's when I started to go in the valley. And the day after that, oh my God, I'm trash. So, by me having to get it so often, it wasn't like I had time to recover. You know what I mean? So every time I get a little sense of relief or not, or a sense of comfort or not, I was going right back in, getting smacked right back with the medication, and it'll put me back there. So what I noticed, I said, since I had to get rehydration as well because of the heart failure, the congestive heart failure that I had, I would have to get rehydrated on Fridays. So Fridays was my hydration session. And when I discovered, I said, well, Doc, if I feel, this way on chemo, if I take this, what's the word I want to use? Steroid. It makes me feel better. I say, so can I take an additional one because it's going in the same way through the port? Can I take another one before the rehydration treatment? And she said, I don't see why you can't. So she said I could, and that's what got me through the tough times and with the chemo treatment. You know what I'm saying? Because it was whipping my behind.
So I think what we want to just reiterate when you were going through your treatment is, number one, figure out what really works best for you, because you're going to go through the valley.
And always advocate for your own health. If you got a question, no question is a dumb question, especially when your life's on the line.
And be prepared, because it's just not easy. I was permitted to sit in there with you.
She was the only person in my infusion sessions, all the nurses, they could vouch for it. She was the only one that they were letting her back. She was the only partner, significant other, or whatever. Not even wives were back there.
But I think that the reason being is because, like, at the end of the day, you have to look at what really works best. It's going to be painful, regardless. Mm-hmm. And I can recall Dr. Class coming in and sometimes just ignoring him, full-fledged ignoring him.
Yeah.
But because he took the medication so well without complaints, she was able to crank it up, and that's really what he needed. Mm-hmm. And also, he was a strong advocate for himself. Like, I feel my worst on these days. So on these days when I come in, can I get this? Because you had so many different conditions. Again, heart failure, diabetes, kidney, cirrhosis of the liver. Like, because you had so many issues, you weren't just going for treatment to deal with the stage 4. You had to go for treatment because you couldn't treat just the cancer without attacking the congestive heart failure. You couldn't just treat one. You had to focus on it all. So with focusing on it, you're there pretty much every day.
Yeah, and then you bring up the congestive heart failure. My drip had to be extra slow. Mm-hmm. So I would take an additional, what would take you after you get your chemo treatment, which is an 8-hour treatment in a day. It takes you about 30 to 45 minutes for the drip, for your your hydration. But in my case, it was 2 hours. So it was 10-hour days for me, plus Friday for rehydration. Because there was one time that it happened when they turned the drip on and they didn't know, and I kind of like damn near passed out because they didn't understand that I had, they had to look at my chart again and say, well, hey, you got congestive heart failure. So that's when they really, really took the precautions.
But again, you had to say something. You got to say something.
So I was like, well, I didn't feel well, and I don't think that I could take this like this again. And then that's when they discovered that they had to slow my drip down, and I didn't have any problems after that. But that was that one time.
And understand, like, as a caretaker, I can remember his brother Ricky sharing that he felt when he was going through treatment, he said that he felt like it was fire in his bones.
Yeah, it burns.
It burns. He was like, it burns you from the inside out. And sometimes he was not like, he was. If you spoke to him, he was just all he could do was look at you and try to appear to comprehend what you were saying. And when he said that, that painted the picture for me.
And I was the picture that was being painted.
Absolutely.
I never was crippled. I was crippled after the treatments. Like I tell people all the time, the toughest thing for me in this whole ordeal after getting out of chemo was real tough. But even after chemo, that didn't last. The recovery is what lasted because my body was damaged, and still to some points it is. Your central nervous system is damaged. Your motor skills are damaged. Your hand-eye coordination is off. You know what I mean?
Hippocampus, like just that recall portion of your brain. It was
chemo brain is real. Mm-hmm. You can't remember even now. Even now, even talking to it. Like I tell people, nobody gets out unscathed. You just gotta have that mercy and that compassion on you. You gotta have that focus in Christ. You gotta have Christ in your heart. You gotta have Christ in your spirit to deal with this situation. You gotta surround yourself with people that's Christ-like and that's Christ-minded, and have your best intentions, at heart. But
ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is just ask for help. Yeah. Like, this is the one time that being selfful is not an issue. Like, ask for help. If you feel like a treatment is going to be missed, inform the individuals that are at the hospital, because they provide like some hospitals provide transportation. Ask them. Some provide bill assistance. Ask them, like, this is not the time to be proudful. Yeah. Like, there are too many resources available that sometimes we don't tap into because we simply are not aware. Mm-hmm. But in this case, whatever you need, ask for it. The worst that somebody can do is tell you no. And if they do, again, I have one more question. Like, and that's what you'll hear me say. I have just one more question. So wait a minute. I thought of something else. Ask the question. If you say no, okay, well, can you point me in a different direction?
It's not between me. I'm not doing this for a facade or a show or to get famous or get whoever wants me to come. I come anywhere. I go anywhere and speak. And anybody will tell you that. Anybody, they could vouch for me. I go anywhere and tell my story. I don't care. I pop up on you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll call you the same day. I'll come and speak and let you know God is real. Because that's what He did for me, and that's all I want to share with you all. So stage 4 cancer, all the other problems, God is real, and you can't tell me He isn't. That's what I tell people all the time. You can't tell me. How do I do it? How did I do it? God.
That's right.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for answering a few questions.
Are we coming back again and answer some more questions later in the week? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because this is our first one. And I like it. I'm going to get comfortable. Bear with me. I'm going to get comfortable, and we're going to, like she said, I've been running all.
And I appreciate you running all day, honey.
I'm up since 4 in the morning, and I'm ready to shower and knock out.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to answer a couple of questions.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the time people, just want to post questions and ask me questions. And listen, I'll get to all the questions. Trust me. My social media team, we're back in action. We were down for a little bit. My cameraman, my social media man was on vacation. He took a long hiatus. He had to go to India or Bali somewhere. I don't know. He does that kind of weird eclectic stuff. But we're back. We're humming. So don't worry about nothing. Everything's going to get answered. Give me a little time. And I'm going to come on and you stay with me. I'm going to stay with you. And hopefully I'll see you soon.